Hi, everybody. Erin here. I'm a mindset coach for aspiring entrepreneurs, and I love helping women to remove fears and build the confidence they need to really go after their dreams, to find the life and the business that they love. Moving around a little bit so you can get better light. So I want to talk to you guys today about simple tapping for removing fears of Facebook Live, because I think just like any social media out there, it takes a lot of mental energy and mental sort of fortification to put yourself out there and put yourself and your truth out into the world. And one of the things that really helps me and that I do, even sometimes before I'm going to put a post out there, and so this can help, like I said, with any form of social media, but I think it's especially pertinent for Facebook Live since you are going live, and that is a totally different world than being able to craft a little post and reformat it a million times before you put it out there. And even then, you can still edit it, right? But Facebook Live, you can't edit it once you've posted it. There is, of course, a spot right beforehand where you can delete the post or delete the Facebook Live if you don't love it. So keep that in the back of your minds if you have not yet done a Facebook Live and you want to do one. So I don't know if you guys have ever done tapping before. If you are watching this on the replay, let me know in the comments if this is something that you've done before or if it's totally brand new to you. But again, it's something I use on a daily basis. And even though I'm not a tapping expert, I want to introduce it to you guys here in case it might be of interest to you. So simple tapping consists of doing 3 rounds. Somebody's sending me a lot of love, but I can't see who it is yet. Simple tapping consists of doing 3 rounds, and it's really just going through your fears. And tapping, if you guys want to look it up on the internet, hey, Allison, tapping is something that's been scientifically researched. So this, even though I love woo-woo stuff, this one is not as quite out there in woo-woo world as the rest of some of the stuff that I love is. So again, this one is researched scientifically, whatever that means, randomized trials, to have an impact on your life. And again, I use it and I love it. So quite simply, it's just tapping on acupressure points on your face and head, and I'll go through all of them. But you're doing that as you speak your fears. So for social media, it would be something like, I'm really scared of putting myself out there. I'm really scared that no one is going to like what I'm watching. No one's going to love what I'm watching. And each tapping point, and I'm going through them as I'm talking, each tapping point, you can say another one of those fears. And it could be the same thing. So whatever's coming up for you is totally all right and totally fine. And what I always find is that the fear that I started off with is not the actual fear that's beneath all of it. Usually there's some deeper rooted, middle school type fear lurking around there, like no one's ever going to love me or buy my products ever or ever be my friend again, right? That's usually kind of the deeper message that we can get to through tapping. Of course, there's a bunch of ways to get through those deeper fears too. You can try journaling and asking yourself intuitive questions, that kind of thing. But tapping is a really quick and easy way to do it. So let me go through the tapping points, and I'll kind of do it as an example for Facebook Live as I'm going through them. The first one is what they call the karate chop, and that's like this point right in the middle of your hand, right there. And there's no magic to the number of how many times you're tapping on each of these points. It's just kind of however many taps you feel is right in order to meet that fear, if that makes sense. So, whenever you're saying that first fear, like, I'm really scared that no one's going to watch my Facebook Live, right? As soon as you've tapped enough on that, I think it was like 4 or 5 times, then you move on to the next point. So we started with the karate chop point, then we're doing the one that's on the inside of our eyebrow. And you can do that on either side, the left or the right. Obviously, I am right-handed, so it's easier for me to do it on my right side than on my left, and that gets a little confusing and everything. So I try to stay on my right side. The first point after the karate chop is on the inside of this eyebrow. And then it's on the outside, sort of in the middle of, well, you can see where I'm tapping. And then it's right underneath, the third point is right underneath your eye, And you can sort of feel these points as you're going through them, so you'll know when you're on the right one, when it feels a little weird, different than just, tapping your cheek or something. You're going to hit an acupressure point. And our fingers are broad enough that they're going to hit the correct point. Then you're going to tap right in between those two ridges of your mouth. And then right here underneath your lip. And then the next one, and this, people kind of vary these a little bit. The next one I like to do is my chest. And there's a spot right in the middle, but if you use your whole palm, you can hit it right there. And then you're going to do your wrist. And so again, each of these, as you're tapping them, there's no magic to the number of taps. It's just whatever the fear is coming up, tap on that fear for a moment or two. And you'll do 3 rounds of that, starting with the karate chop, moving through each of those eye points, under your nose, under your mouth, chest, wrist. You can also try introducing a new statement in the beginning of your tapping. So for instance, if you want to get rid of that fear on doing a Facebook Live, you can say something like, I'm really scared that nobody's going to watch. And even though I have this fear, I completely love and accept myself. And that's sort of like the standard tapping phrase is, I completely love and accept myself, despite whatever's going on around you. That's sort of the setup phrase. And as you move through these 3 rounds, you'll sort of feel your intensity level around that fear dissipate. And then if you're really into tapping, you can keep going with the next set of tapping rounds where you introduce a new choice phrase, something like, I love Facebook Lives and I love getting on live and doing them in front of people, right? So if that's not something you feel comfortable saying, then that can be something you introduce in your second round after you've lowered the intensity level doing that first round. So hopefully that was helpful for you guys doing your first Facebook Live. Would love to hear in the comments and in the shares, in the likes, if this is something that you've done before, if this is something brand new, if this is something totally out there and crazy for you, or you do this all the time and here's how you do it, because there's infinite variations of what we were just talking about. So I'm excited to hear everybody else's experiences. And if you want to find out a little bit more about tapping, I'm going to be doing a longer, more extensive Facebook Live on tapping in my Facebook group, which is the Dream Starters community. Would love to have you join us in there. We're a small group currently, so you can get on there and talk about your business as your first Facebook Live, if that's something that appeals to you, or you can just get on there and talk about whatever. Somebody came on and talked about gardening the other day, so it was beautiful. And I think it breaks through those initial fears of getting on Facebook Live. So please come join us, Dream Starters community, and let me know what you think. Thanks, guys.